A new report out of Forbes says that Tiana's Bayou adventure might have cost $150 million, and now it's not working. What's Disney going to do about that? It's not adding to extra magic hours either. Let's talk about what's going on with Tiana's Bayou adventure here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here is a person who was raised from the size of a frog back to being a human, Mr. VashSky. Vash, has the voodoo magic worn off?
Oh, now hang on there, Jonas. It's I believe it's Bayou fairy godmother magic. So let's just be clear where we're getting our terms.
Right.
I don't think the magic has worn off, but I'm not sure.
That's right. They'll go for the godmother, which I believe, is that a Catholic term right there? They'll go for that one, but they won't go with voodoo priestess. That would be offensive to the voodooing community there. Well, let's go to this story out of Blog Mickey. Oh, that is not the story we want, but whatever, leave that in. Update, Tiana's Bayou Adventure will not be available during extended evening hours. I was mistaken there. I thought they called that extra magic hours at Magic Kingdom. Look at that face right there. That right there is the face that haunts the Imagineers' dreams. They wake up in the middle of the night after a fever dream where they're just barreling and log towards this at the end of the tunnel. She looks at them and says, "Why haven't you fixed this? Why haven't you fixed it yet, Ted? Charita, Carmen, what are you going to do? Why haven't you fixed this?" Anyways, this is not the story that we want to cover here. This is the story we want to cover out of Forbes, the cost of converting Disney's Splash Mountain. What's Splash Mountain? That doesn't exist anymore. This by Caroline Reed over there, senior contributor over at Forbes. Look at that beautiful photo. Man, I love that photo. A few of Disney's theme park rides have been more controversial than Splash Mountain. The update to it could also be one of the most costly, despite being a basic log flume. There's emphasis right there. Splash Mountain first opened in 1989 and quickly became a fan favorite. Why? Because it was a thrill ride that still appealed to children. Would you agree with that, Vash?
Oh, I would absolutely agree with that. I think the children the world over loved Splash Mountain. They loved the trop. They loved the catchy songs, the tunes. It was, dare I say, maybe a perfect attraction.
I think you might be right there. Look at this. And I love this line right here. Catchy zippity doo-dah tune stuck in their minds long after they had been drenched by the final drop. By the way, it was kind of hit or miss on whether or not you would get drenched by that drop. So I don't know if it's like the Skinner box of it that you didn't know if you were going to be soaked, but the 52.5-foot drop right there into an artificial briar patch based on Song of the South here. I appreciate this article from Caroline Reed. We cite her constantly because she has excellent reporting, not just on the U.S. parks and what's going on there, also covers movie box office and the cost of actually making these films. There's a lot of awareness of what goes on over there in the UK. Did a report on who turned around the Disneyland Paris park. Guess who it was, Vash? Guess who it was?
I can't think of it right now.
It was Jay Rasulo.
Oh, yes.
The greatest period of profit and growth over there was under Jay Rasulo's watch. All right, here we go. After weeks of civil rights protests in 2020 and petitions calling on Disney to change the ride, they announced the end of Splash Mountain in the United States and claimed it had actually been planning it since 2019. To make it clear, it had drawn a line under the ride's source material. Disney revealed that the new version would be based on 2009's animated hit Princess and the Frog, which featured its first Black princess. There she is right there, Frozen. I don't know if this is a movie of the ride or if this is a still picture. Can't quite tell there. Forgive the little joke. Here we go. The announcement of the update to the ride was accompanied by lush concept art showing the old tree stump atop the attraction would be replaced by a huge weeping willow sitting on a mossy outcrop. Fittingly, it was renamed Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but long before anyone had stepped through its turnstiles, it had already disenchanted thousands of fans in a sea change to its usual approach. This is a great history of the entire issue here. Disney released a full first-person point-of-view ride-through of the attraction a month before it officially opened. As we reported, it was one of the biggest own goals ever scored by Disney's theme park publicity team, as the video was deluged with negative feedback. Okay, so there's something I know here that is not in this article, that is not public knowledge. It is obviously for public consumption because I'm about to say it. The media team was not in charge of that point of view. That full ride POV came from people who were not associated with the social media team of Disney parks, and the media relations team would have done a much better job of it. Obviously, it's really easy to Monday morning quarterback here, but I think the media relations team was a little bit horrified at that POV because they know what POVs are supposed to look like. Many people have said it would have been better to just send a random vlogger through there to get a better idea of what this ride looked like with the POV. It wasn't fixed for the entire ride, but it was fixed for large portions of the ride. Vash, have we talked about that in the past?
I don't think we have. I remember hearing that it had nothing to do with the official media relations team on behalf of the Walt Disney Company, or even associated with the Disney Parks blog and so forth. Well, to hear it confirmed here is very interesting. I'll say this about that POV. Yes, the POV wasn't. Let's say it didn't show the attraction off in the best light possible, but it wasn't very far off from it either.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. As of the time of the writing of this, it had been viewed 804,000 times, but only had 11,000 likes. There is good reason for this. The video highlighted the confusing premise of the ride, which sees Tiana opening up her kitchen and transforming a local salt mine into a garden growing vegetables. To thank her friends and family for their support, Tiana throws a party during Mardi Gras season, but finds that she is missing the ingredient of music. Is that in the queue? That's actually the first time I've heard it say that the missing ingredient is music. Vash? Did I miss that?
I don't know if that's in the queue or not. I think I think a lot of people were necessarily shaped by the publicity and the press releases put out before the attraction opened, saying that we were trying to find a missing ingredient, and maybe that is being absorbed a little bit into maybe the story that the Imagineers have tried to convey about the attraction. And I don't know if that was officially part of the queue. Maybe I'll have to double check and look.
Yeah, that's a very for me, and I'm not trying to say that Caroline is wrong. I'm trying to say that the story is so confusing for this ride that you never quite know what it is. It's very vague, whereas many people view the Splash Mountain attraction as kind of having a more consistent story. Even if you're not quite following it, you see that Brer Rabbit is here, and there are scenes in which people are looking for Brer Rabbit. Brer Rabbit is found by the people who are looking for him, who are threatening to him. It's very easy to read from a cartoon standpoint. And then in the end, obviously the plunge, the "don't throw me in the briar patch" scene at the end of it, it's very clear that he is in deep, and they have the vultures there. Even if you're not hearing the story elements, you're getting the general idea of a rise and fall in action. Even if you miss one scene, you can still catch up with it there. So story to story, I think it's a lot easier to track Splash Mountain. Now, the reception to Tiana's Bayou Adventure has obviously been, I'm not going to say mixed, but there are some people who adamantly say that this is a great attraction, and there are others that say it is a pale comparison to the original Splash Mountain there. Now, I'm maybe this is patting ourselves on the back a little bit. We would have covered this article anyways, but here we go. Another industry expert, that Park Place, added that its contributor, Lorena Creole, was taken aback by the low crowds at the Magic Kingdom on July 3rd and July 4th. The crowd levels are definitely much lower than they used to be for the 4th of July. Yes, the 4th of July weekend, which we've covered here as well. And this is citing an article by Marvin the Movie Monster over there for that Park Place, which if you want to go check that out yourself, there's a good look at it. Not to flex here, but I am glad to be associated with Marvin, and of course with Lorena.
I will say, Jonas, this is a big, unbelievable moment in media history to have not only an African-American representative, but also a fabricated American representative in a big media publication like this. Wow, that's true diversity there, folks.
That is very true. All right, so this is the thing that I wanted to get to in this article. Disney doesn't officially disclose the cost of individual attractions to the amount it spent on Tiana's Bayou Adventure remains a closely guarded secret. It has left fans without an indication of how much it costs Disney to update a flagship ride like this until now. The evidence comes straight from the horse's mouth, as we recently revealed the superhero-themed Avengers Campus that opened in 2022 at Disneyland Paris cost precisely $404.1 million to build. According to David Gerardius forgive me on that name, the land's design manager. Remarkably, the Imagineer revealed the sum in a post on LinkedIn, mindful of the fact that he may delete his indiscretion once it was reported. Of course, keep receipts whenever you get them. Lo and behold, once our piece was published, the Avengers Campus budget mysteriously disappeared from his LinkedIn page, but the original could be seen here. This is to the Star Tours attraction here. In September of 2014, Imagineering show design and production director Bjorn Heerwagen revealed that the update was coming to Disneyland Paris. It was officially announced in June following year. It opened in 2017. Saw the addition of high-definition 3D screens. It took a year to upgrade the ride compared to 17 months for the transformation of Splash Mountain. Unlike Star Tours, the transformation into Tiana's Bayou Adventure required extensive, labor-intensive updates to the decor, as well as creation of new sets, 48 animatronics, in 5 new songs. That 48 audio animatronics, there's a very big asterisk on this because it's a downgrade in animatronics. We've got, I would say, if we're being very generous, 15 or so actual big show style animatronics, with only about 9 of those being the really important ones. Several screens also show bespoke, depending on how you pronounce it, new CGI, though admittedly it isn't anywhere near as extensive as the new footage for Star Tours, which was the focus of that upgrade. The manpower required to develop and install the new decor and audio animatronics compensates for the lack of CGI. The conclusion that she's coming to here is that it cost $142 million. Vash, I think you might have additional information here to on top of Caroline Reed's figures, which, by the way, I agree with her figures based on her calculations. There is a slight disagreement that we have here with her figures.
Yes, a slight disagreement. So she's factoring in the cost of inflation, the cost of maybe doing business in the United States versus Disneyland Paris for that Star Tours upgrade that they received in 2017, and she's factoring in CGI as done by Industrial Light and Magic versus new audio-animatronics that were placed in. I think your characterization is correct, by the way. There's only a fraction of really brand new grade A audio-animatronics as opposed to maybe things that don't even hold up when it comes to Home Depot animatronics, let's say.
Right.
But all that being said, though, a few weeks prior to this article actually being published, our sources here at That Park Place were informing me based on what they had heard from their sources within WDI, specifically within the Imagineering circles that they frequent, that this attraction was not $142 million. I had estimated it was $100 million. I was corrected by this source, again, weeks before this article, that this attraction may be as much as $200 million.
Yeah. Now, the things that would have been unavailable. First of all, I think that Caroline Reed has figures that we would never have access to. Like if ILM overseas did some of the CGI work, I trust her figures implicitly on that. Now, with this one, I think there's probably a rush. There's also the fact that in the United States, there's an inherent overcharge. And also, this is, of course, not counting the opportunity cost, which we're not getting into that for budget reasons here. And if we had not heard this from a source that we trust within the company, that $200 million, yikes. That is a lot of money to build an attraction that will be offensive for a large number of people. This is the reason that that Last Jedi will probably be in the realm it is forever, is because they've made it into a culture war issue long term, so that people don't even care about the item on its merits. With Splash Mountain converting into Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Disney made a rare step to make this offensive to a certain part of the audience. And if you follow the reporting on That Park Place, there were also internal departments that were very focused on reflecting poorly on anyone who felt that this attraction was not an upgrade. Now, that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters here. First of all, it's fantastic reporting by Caroline Reed, because she is always on point. And any of our disagreement is just because we have different sources here. Want to ask your thoughts on this. Is $142 million a good price to pay for ripping out Splash Mountain and putting in Tiana's Bayou Adventure? But what about if it's $200 million? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like this video if you found it helpful. And of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.